Okay, so welcome back to the last video of this class when we are going to do the last complication, which is investing or borrowing the money. This is a, a complication when instead of having the money like in here and in here, like here we have an initial investment, we already have the money. In this exercise, we can borrow the money. That's why it says you can borrow. So that's something that you need to be careful with. This is kind of the first thing you need to be careful about. It says you can borrow the money. So if it means that you can borrow the money, you will also have to be careful with the rates because we are going to have two different rates. If what let's think really a quick parenthesis in here. If you invest your money in anything, in maybe in your bank, I don't know, whatever you invest in a portfolio in your bank or something like that, like an investment bank account or something. What do you think, which rate do you think will be higher? That rate from your investment or savings or whatever, or the rate from your credit card from when you get a loan? Definitely 99.9% of the time, the credit card will be more expensive. Why? It makes sense because otherwise everyone will get a loan and then invest that money and then they will get a profit. So it doesn't make sense. It's always more expensive to borrow money. That's why the borrow rate, as you can see, it says interest rate borrow from Mexico is higher than the interest rate for investment in Mexico. So because of this, we have these differences. Again, as I told you, if it's the other way around, it is possible. It's extremely rare, but it's possible that this can happen. But most of the times, 99.9% of the time, it works like this, or even 0.999, because it's extremely rare that the other way around happens. So it looks like this: 5% borrowing rate, 2% investment rate. It's also a little bit unreal because usually when you borrow money in Mexico, it's quite expensive. I don't know, 20% might be an average. And when you invest, it's super low again. Maybe 2% is a bit realistic for a savings account, and that's too much. But okay, the idea is that you understand that if you invest, the rate is going to be lower than if you borrow the money. Okay, that's the first step that I want to clarify. So the deal in here, the complication in here is that you don't have the money, so you are going to borrow the money. You will borrow 1 million pesos. So it's a little bit similar to the UIA. I hope you remember that. That's the last class from the second partial. So I will solve it again with this new complication. So again, I start with my rectangle. I think it's I think it's a really visual way to solve it. I think it's very useful. So in here, I want to calculate how much money do I need to pay back in the future for this loan of $1 million, sorry, pesos. So I need to pay how much do I need to pay? I will calculate that. So to calculate that, it's the same as usual. You use the formula 1 plus the interest rate. And here, let's think which rate will we use. Of course, we need a Mexican rate because we are in Mexico. We have pesos. But which rate, borrow or invest? Are we investing the million pesos or are we borrowing? And here you need to be careful because it says you can borrow. If it doesn't say that, if it says you have the money or whatever, you are going to use the investment rate. But if it says you can borrow, as in here, or you are borrowing or anything related to borrowing, it's going to be the borrow rate. So borrowing rate, 5% times 90 because it's 90 days, and then over 360. And that's the future value. Remember something that I told you when we were doing the CIA. I like to keep a negative number when I borrow money, so I remember that it's money that I need to pay back. Okay, it's just something that I do just to remember that it's money that I need to pay back. The next thing to do is to convert the pesos to dollars using the spot. So I will go really quick because I have done it twice already. So it's going to be $50,000. Then I convert, or sorry, then I need to convert this to future value. And here, let's think about it. Why am I doing it here? I borrowed the pesos, so I have pesos in my pocket. Then I went to the bank and I converted my pesos to dollars, but I still have dollars in my pocket. Then I went to the US and I invested these dollars in the US. So what rate should I use? I need to use, let's do the calculation, this number 1 plus The interest rate, which interest rate? Remember, what did I just say? I am investing the dollars, right? So it's an investment rate for the US. So it will be 1% times 90 over 360. Like this, right? And then final step, just to convert using the forward. Here it's very easy. I don't have two forwards. It's very easy. And then I only need to multiply this times this. This is pesos. And finally, then what I have been doing, I can do it like right here. This, well, in this case, it's not minus because I already have the difference. So this plus this, and the difference is 15,000. This is pesos, and this is profit. Okay? That's how you finish with this exercise. So in this complication, you only need to be careful about noticing if you are borrowing or lending or investing. What are you doing? Are you investing the money or borrowing the money? And to know that, you need to read this. If it says borrow, of course, it's going to be the borrow rate in the first line. Here is a tip. I think in all the CIA problems, in the bottom line, it is always investing rate. Why? Because that's the spirit of the CIA, to invest the money in another country. You don't borrow the money in the other country. You borrow the money if it's about borrowing in your local country, and then you go and invest in the second. So that's why here is a tip. In the bottom line, it is always investment rate. And on the top one is when you need to think about it. Am I borrowing or am I investing? So that's when you need to decide. Apart from that, I think this complication is very simple. That's the only thing that you need to know. Remember, when you read the data, remember that we have two different rates, investing and borrowing rate. Investing is always cheaper, borrowing is always expensive. But again, I think like, well, I can't promise, but maybe I can make a tricky question where I mix it up. And I think I did it once in second partial about something. I give you really weird data, but I can mix it up just for you to be careful. I mean, like I can give you an example when the borrowing rate is cheaper than the investment rate, which is unrealistic. But I can do it just for you to be always active and think. But I don't promise I will do it. I won't promise I want to do it. So just be careful when you choose the right data. So that's the end of this. This is a third complication. As you can see, it's not a difficult topic. I'm honest with you. It's just keep practicing what we are doing. And at some point in one homework or one activity, you are going to do a mix of all of this, because you can mix everything. You can mix, for example, bid and ask with two forwards. I mean, like you can have forward rate bid and forward rate ask, and here and spot ask, and that's a mix of two complications. So you can have the same thing in here. Well, you can have bid and ask, and then you can also have interest rate borrow, interest rate investment. You can have that, or you can have everything, the three things. That's the most difficult one, but it's not really difficult. It's maybe the most time consuming, because you need to go step by step doing each of them, each step very carefully. But that's the ultimate thing. That's the most difficult CIA that you're going to do. And with this, I am also closing the part of the course where we analyzed investment strategies internationally. The next thing to do is to dig a bit deeper into this, into derivatives. We are going to do a quick exercise on forwards. It's very simple. It's very simple. You will notice that it will be a super quick video. 10 minutes is enough to learn the very basics about forwards and futures. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then I will also teach you how to manage options. Again, the simple way. I will teach you a simple, not many complications, simple way to use options, because remember, this course is not very deep into the use of derivatives, or not very deep into financial strategies. It's kind of to give you a sense of what's going on, how can you improve international financial management. So the next class will be about derivatives, which is basically futures and options. And then in the last class, because I think we only have 3 more days and 2 more before the final exam, the last class will be about a little bit of risk management. Again, it's basic stuff, It's not very deep, not very complicated. If you're studying finance, you will probably learn a lot more about risk management, a lot more about portfolio management. But this last class is for you to know the basics of this, to understand how can you diversify from a very basic perspective. But it's super useful when you invest your own money, your retirement money, or you want to get a sense of what's the risk behind all of these investments. I think it's very useful. So in the end, that's more or less the agenda for the last partial. And we're almost done. We're almost done. This is the, I think you have worked really, really good, really, really well. I think you have been doing a really nice effort apart from this online thing. I hope that you have liked this way of teaching. I find it interesting when you go to Zoom and we chat a little bit. You have questions, you can come 5 minutes, some others stay 20 minutes and we chat. It's very open to you, and some others don't need to come. I am aware of that. I understand that's the purpose of all of this. So I hope you are enjoying the course. I hope that you are liking how this course is online. I think it's very interesting if you're liking the topics, and I hope we can continue like this for partial. I know that maybe you are tired. I hope that you rest last week. It's the last effort. The topics are interesting. They are not that difficult. I promise they're not that difficult. I promise to you. Well, nothing is difficult really, but this one is not difficult either. So just last push, last thing. I know you might be tired. We're a bit tired, but we're about to finish, and you will finish the course with an excellent final exam. And let me know if you have any questions about your grades too. And I'll see you in Zoom if you have any questions, or if you can send me an email or WhatsApp message as always. So see you soon.